90s way to try.
Knocked off Southern Illinois in a very tight defensive battle this afternoon. That sets up tonight's games: Creighton and Illinois State, Southwest Missouri State, and Indiana State. We've talked all week about what a wide-open tournament this would be, but Mitch Holthus and Debbie Antonelli, it's not wide open until somebody knocks off the two-time defending champion, Illinois State.
John Kevin Stallings of Illinois State still has the keys to the car, and the trophy's in the back seat of the car. Illinois State's won it back-to-back. Creighton's had the St. Louis flu, Debbie. They haven't won here since 1991, but Rodney Buford wants to change history.
Well, Rodney Buford is playing with a sense of urgency. He is one of the best in the Valley at the offensive end because he is offense all over the floor. Exciting, flashy, and a tough defensive assignment for Illinois State. For the Redbirds, Leroy Watkins is the most imposing physical presence at both ends of the floor. And if you like the power game, watch Watkins go to work. On the defensive end, he is the all-time shot blocker in school history.
Illinois State is trying to find just enough healthy players. This is one healthy player, Victor Williams, the freshman of the year in the Missouri Valley Conference, a kid from Kansas City. The newcomer of the year, however, Tyrese Bryson, also from Illinois State, but he's playing injured. Illinois State's beat up, but they're going to get after it. Postseason tournament at Kiel Center in St. Louis. Mitch Holthus along with Debbie Antonelli. As the Illinois State Redbirds coach Kevin Stallings in his 6th year as the head coach at ISU. He's just trying to find some healthy bodies, but he's won this tournament title back-to-back. Great win in the NCAA's last year against Tennessee. Our lineups are brought to you by Bud Light. Illinois State has 4 healthy players and 4 unhealthy players. Creighton has started 8 different lineups, 7 in the last half of the season, but they like this group. And the head coach of the Creighton Blue Jays is Dana Altman in his 5th year. He's improved Creighton every season in 5 consecutive years. Only Henry Iba in the history of the Missouri Valley Conference in the 92 years in this league has ever done that. And now, let's take a look at our Chrysler keys to the game, Debbie.
Well, for Illinois State, first off, they've got to shorten the possessions. They've got to slow the game down. Creighton is the highest scoring offense in the conference. Junk it up at the defensive end, mix it up. We saw some triangle 2 and some boxing 1. Execute in the offense. Because of their injury and lack of depth, they've got to be more efficient at the offensive end. For Creighton, exploit their matchup advantage. Who is going to guard Rodney Buford? He had 23 and 22 the last time these two teams met. Rebound and run. The big guys for Creighton can run the floor. It's a strength of Doug Swenson, and they can wear down Illinois State.
Randy Smithson, the coach of Wichita State, said you're coming here to get 3 things: a ring, a banner, and a trip to the NCAA. Illinois State, back-to-back champions in Arch Madness for the 97 and 98 season. Rodney Buford trying to bring Creighton its first title since 1991. In fact, that's the last year Creighton won a game in Arch Madness here in St. Louis. Illinois State, the 7 seed. And Creighton, 18 and 8. Had an outstanding non-conference portion this season. Beat Oklahoma State, the preseason favorite to win the Big 12. Won at Iowa. And a team generally thought to be a challenger to make the 64-team NCAA field, regardless of what happens here in St. Louis.
And right away, Illinois State's in the 1-3 and a chaser with Victor Williams, that healthy body that you talked about, guarding Buford.
All right, Debbie, let's talk about this, because last night we saw every junk defense that Kevin Stallings could throw in the first round of the tournament at Drake. I asked him why. He said, he told you and I both, the healthy guys play man-to-man, the unhealthy guys play zone. Now, how about that?
Well, that's a way to persevere and preserve your interior guys and keep them out of foul trouble as well, but also keep the pressure on Creighton on the perimeter by chasing them in the box and 1 or the 1-3 in the chaser.
Deep 3, this is Swenson. Not there. The rebound pulled down by Ryan Crowley of Illinois State. Neither team has scored. We've played a minute.
We expect Creighton to be a little bit tight. I mean, they are the number 2 seed. As we've said, they haven't won here. They've had to sit around all day waiting to play this game.
Evansville early today. There's a 5 count. Ryan Sears closely guarded Victor Williams, who jumps into the ear of graduate student Leroy Watkins. A turnover. It'll give the ball back to Creighton. There's Dana Altman. His point guard, Ryan Sears, he likes very much. You would think with all these junk defenses, your point guard has to read it and get you in the proper set.
Well, and a lot of times against this kind of jumped-up defense, you want to run your man offense, run your motion, and like we saw in our first game, run the guy who's chasing off a lot of screens.
Ben Walker missing. Creighton's rebounding. Guards rebound very well. It's a violation. They give it to Illinois State. Creighton's guards rebound very well. Ben Walker, 5 boards a game. Corey Brandon, 3 boards a game. Ryan Sears, 3 boards a game. Creighton will hit the glass with 5 guys.
They're pretty physical on the perimeter, Mitch. I think that's an advantage that Creighton has over Illinois State in this game. Is Illinois State's depleted guards because of their injuries.
Watkins turnaround, missing against Swenson. What advantage does Illinois State have then?
Well, Illinois State's got to pound it inside to Leroy Watkins. That's where their strength is. Watkins block to block, looking to operate on the sweet spot.
Neither team able to score. Creighton looks a little tight. And a boxing one on Rodney Buford. Ryan Sears long on a shot. Buford with his long arms tipping it to Walker. Offensive foul, I believe. Yes. Ben Walker's called for an offensive foul. Illinois State's a smart team. They will look to take charges in situations against key players to try to get in foul trouble with their defense.
And it's all because of Kevin Stallings, because he's a terrific teacher of the game, breaks it down to the minute detail.
No score. Victor Williams against Donnie Johnson. Watkins in prime position, and the game's first points belong to Leroy Watkins of Illinois State.
He is so strong. No one in the Valley matches his experience and size on the interior.
He was a giant factor last night in the win over Drake. 17 points and 7 rebounds. Drake had no answer for Leroy Watkins.
He played a lot of minutes. It'll be interesting to see how his durability holds up in the second half of this game.
Nice give and go. Johnson missing the layup. Watkins with the rebound. Donnie Johnson has played well of late for Creighton, averaging 11 points in his last 3 games. Not able to get the layup. Pull-up jumper, Victor Williams. Sean Riley. Not there. Swenson, his second board of the game. Creighton wants to run.
See, I think it's important that Creighton attacks the basket, even if the numbers aren't there, that they take the ball to the baseline and make Illinois State run 94 feet.
Illinois State, 4 healthy guys and a lot of unhealthy guys. Let's take a look at the walking wounded. As L.D. Murdoch, great player, transfer from Missouri, out for the season. Ronald Van Velzen out for the season. Kenneth Pearson will play a little bit tonight. Watkins is playing hurt. Bryson is playing hurt. Kyle Cartnell, will see him later. He's playing hurt. There's a look at L.D. Murdoch with his knee injury. So 4 guys are playing at probably about 60% in all reality. And a couple guys out for the season. It's really made it hard on Kevin Stallings, Debbie.
The top 7 of his top 8 guys have been hurt at some point during the season or gone for the season. It makes it very tough. And you know when you're the top dog, everybody gives you their best effort regardless of what your own situation is. They don't care that you're hurt. They want to take it right at you.
Illinois State just 1 for 7 from the field. Make that 2 for 8. Victor Williams at the scoop.
Good look by Sean Riley from the top. Riley, a terrific guy in the high-low game as a passer at the top of the key.
Creighton, Cliff Bates in the game. The Blue Jays subbing early here. Have yet to score, and we have played over 4 minutes. Rodney Buford.
And you see what Creighton has done. The adjustment they've tried to make offensively is put Buford on the low block against Williams.
Cliff Bates misses a shot over the back of the backboard. And we have our first media timeout as the number 7 seed going back door to take a 4-point lead over Creighton here in the quarterfinals of Arch Madness. A shutout here, 4-0 over Creighton. We played over 4 minutes in the game. This is like the game 2 years ago. Creighton shot 17% in the first half of a quarterfinal game 2 years ago. And this is similar to our first game we had today when the 1 seed Evansville was playing the 9 seed Wichita State.
Well, because Illinois State has had a chance to go last night, although they might not be as fresh as Creighton, they're a little bit looser. The rust isn't quite as thick as it is on Creighton right now, particularly at the offensive end. But what Creighton needs to do is get into it defensively, and that will get them up tempo at the offensive end. Creighton
has missed its first 8 shots. This is Crowley. Backdoor to Riley. It's going to be goaltending. Did the basket to Sean Riley of Illinois State. And the Redbirds have 6 points on 3 layups.
That's just terrific execution by Illinois State in the half court. Great ball fake by Crowley to set it up, and Riley heads to the cup.
Illinois State, again, defending Rodney Buford with little Victor Williams, 5'10", guarding 6'5", and Williams fouling. So they were posting him up again.
I like the adjustment that Dana Altman has made in his offense to get Buford on the blocks. If Illinois State's going to stay in that box and one or 1-3 chase or whatever you want to call it, that's a chance for them to exploit that matchup on the inside with Buford.
This is Brandon. Creighton has a fairly deep team.
Very deep on the perimeter. Polikanovich comes in for the guys on the inside. And Donnie Johnson's a guy I think who can have a major role in this game tonight.
They've had 11 different players on the roster make a 3 this season. Swenson, 14 to shoot. Sears gets a great look from the top and hits it. Ryan Sears, his 53-point make of the season. He had 5 against Illinois State earlier this year from 3-point range.
And with with Creighton being able to score, they can get into their full court pressure, which could take its toll on wearing down Illinois State. Creighton has got to make shots to be able to get into their full court pressure.
You know what's interesting, Debbie? Creighton in the last 3 weeks of the regular season became a shoot-'em-up team. They were getting the 70s and 80s every week. But if their defense wasn't creating the backcourt, they were struggling in the half-court stopping people. But that time, they were able to stop in the half-court. Corey Brandon for 3 in the game, tied on 2 shots. They missed their first 8, and on 2 threes, they tie the game.
Isn't the three-point shot a great neutralizer? Unbelievable how it can swing the momentum and get you back in the game very quickly. It's all because Creighton got it going on the defensive end. I really think that is fueling their offense, even though they're not turning Illinois State over. They're just playing with more effort and intensity right now.
Give and go to Watkins. Big, nice catch after a pick and roll.
Well, obviously, Kevin Stallings has seen something in the Creighton defense and has gone back door 3 times.
Victor Williams underneath. Watkins not there. A tie-up. It'll be a held ball, and Swenson and Watkins go to the floor. Neither one will let go of the basketball.
You don't think these teams want to win this game? It's early in the game, and already possession of the basketball is being valued.
Rodney Buford trying to deal with the box and one of Illinois State, directing traffic.
You know, I think Rodney Buford has been playing unselfishly all season long. What he's trying to do is say, reverse the ball. I'm going to pin Williams on the interior. But Ryan Sears open for the three-pointer and knocks it down.
Illinois State, one of the best teams in Division I basketball at scoring off inbounds plays. Steele, Brandon. One-on-one against Williams. He's a left-hander, goes to the left side and scores.
That's the turnover by Bryson. There's an example of not being 100%. He got caught penetrating too deep and tried to kick it out, but super anticipation by Brandon.
Bryson, who has the ball now, has played with a fracture of his shin all season, and now also has a knee injury as well. But Sean Riley is one of the healthy players, and his hook shot ties the game at 8.
Because Sean Riley is healthy and Leroy Watkins is close to 100%, you've got to give those guys touches at the offensive end and let them get a chance to go to work.
Danny Johnson off balance, stepping through a double team. Redbirds can take the lead. Good look for Crowley from Williams. He'll bank it home.
And Victor Williams is a huge key, the way he penetrates and attacks the basket. Just a freshman, but you can see how much he's matured and developed in running this team from early in December when we had Illinois State to this point.
Marius Karlikonovich in the game, trying to post up for Creighton. 13 to shoot. Now they have Buford a touch. Rodney Buford yet to score. Donnie Johnson tips it in from the backside.
Great work on the weak side glass by Johnson.
10-10 tie. Williams, good dish to Riley. Another layup for Illinois State.
Boy, Illinois State's spacing offensively is outstanding. They're just spreading out the defense in the half court, and Victor Williams is picking them apart.
Redbirds lead by a deuce at the 11:22 mark left in the first half. Good ball movement by Creighton. Karlikonovas in the right spot. And the Lithuanian has his first 2 points of the game. Illinois State wanted to push and didn't get it. Game tied at 12, so both teams were tied early, now getting the flow offensively. Sears hounds Bryson. Sears defends the backdoor cut.
Great defense by Ryan Sears. He turns his head and goes right down the line.
Karlikonovas, he can shoot threes and will get the roll. There is Karlikonovas, is 58% from three-point range. We saw him against Southwest Missouri State get 20 points against the Bears in Springfield.
That's the thing about Swenson and Karlikonovas on the floor together. They shoot it 49% from the floor and make 28 combined.
Riley, alert play. Nearly has it stolen by Buford. Creighton's all over the place. And Sears gets the steal. Nearing the midway mark, it's a traveling violation on Nereus Karlikonovas. It is the quarterfinals of Arch Madness. Yes, there is emotion in St. Louis.
Four lead changes already, and Creighton up 15-12 now on Illinois State with 10:15 to go in the first half. Don't forget the madness continues next week in Des Moines at the Knapp Center on Drake's campus. It'll be the State Farm Missouri Valley Conference women's basketball tournament, and Mitch and Debbie, I can count at least 6 teams that have a legitimate shot at winning that one.
Yeah, and Southwest Missouri State's just red hot going into that tournament. And John, you and I and Debbie will all be there next week for that. And it should be rocking at the Knapp Center. Creighton living by the 3 right now. They've had 3 2s and 3 3s. Creighton is 3 from 8 from three-point range, or 2-point range, and 3 for 9 from three-point range. Plus, Creighton has hit 6 out of its last 9 after being 0 for its first 8. Kenneth Pearson, he's been bothered by a knee problem for the last 2.5 years.
And he's not even looking at the basket, so Donnie Johnson can sag inside and help on Riley.
Cartmill has a broken foot. Jepson's a healthy one. Riley, backdoor cut. Pearson, layup. Another layup for Illinois State.
That's the problem right there when you help post to post. The guards have got to drop down and bump that cut.
Illinois State has 7 field goals, Debbie, and I think their longest field goal is about 12 feet.
You know, the other thing is last night they survived a 12-minute stretch where they missed 15 field goals and still were able to win the game.
They're getting great shots in this game, trailing Creighton by 1. 9:19 left in the half. Johnson to the cup. This will be a blocking foul on Pearson of Illinois State. And let's go back and take a look at Illinois State's passing prowess.
Watch the dump down, and here comes the help right here. And then Pearson gets to the basket. Swenson rotates over to help. But the guards for Creighton have got to drop down.
Doesn't Riley give you a little, that was Sean Riley giving the pass. This is Donnie Johnson at the line. But Riley gives you a little of that kind of Bill Walton type look. A 7-foot kid.
The big redhead.
Yeah, but he can go out and shoot it and pass it. And if a big guy like that can shoot it and pass it, boy, is he dangerous.
Well, and with the high-low game that Kevin Stallings likes to run with Watkins operating in the box, and Riley a threat to knock down the 3, you've got to respect that. And the spacing is terrific in that high-low look, and Riley's just a great passer.
Johnny Johnson 1 of 2 at the line. Creighton leads 16-14. Take a look at Justin Haynes in the game for Johnson. Haynes, a sophomore from tiny Sterling, Nebraska. 9:09 left in the half. Creighton leads by a 2-point field goal at 16-14. Creighton straight up man. Illinois State has spent the whole half shooting layups.
And Creighton switches on perimeter screens.
This is Jepson, the hero of last night's win over Drake. 7 to shoot. Cartmill, the Illinois State in a weave. Riley against Swenson. Nice play by Sean Riley, backing in and getting the bucket. He has 8.
That's the advantage of having the 7-footer with a nice shooting touch inside. Illinois State runs the weave and runs the clock down. Shortens the possessions like we talked about as being a key.
The double on Sterling, he throws it away. The steal by Victor Williams. With 7 steals in one game this year for Illinois State.
You know, with all the injuries for Illinois State, Kevin Stallings said yesterday he really wanted to start Sean Jepson, but he was afraid of hurting the guy's confidence if things didn't go well. And they lost the game. It would have been a long spring and a long summer workout for Jepson.
Illinois State throws the ball away. A bit of an unforced turnover. Creighton's got it back with the game tied at 16. Buford comes back in the lineup. Rodney Buford yet to score, Debbie, in this game. Third in the conference in scoring. Averaging 20 points per game. One of the great scorers in the history of the Missouri Valley Conference. You see, he needs 16 to move into 10th all time, but he's been shut out today.
You know, we talked about the sense of urgency with which Rodney is playing basketball right now. You know, I've been so impressed with his maturity level all season long, how he's not really forced things offensively. His presence on the floor draws a lot of attention. I think he understands that and becoming a student of the game at the offensive end. And he wants to win. That's the bottom line for a guy like Rodney Buford, who's been in the league and been a star in the league for a long time.
Foul on Jepson of Illinois State, trying to help out Crawley, who was defending Buford in the box and one.
We just talked about the attention that Buford draws. Gets a lot of respect from the coaches in this league.
The box and one by Creighton. Rodney Buford is getting a lot of company in this game. Tied up in St. Louis. Tied up at the 7th seed Illinois State, defending champion of the tournament. 7:50 left in the half. Creighton pulling the switcheroo.
Well, Creighton's going to switch on perimeter screens. We know that. Watch the weave that Illinois State runs and the switches. Here comes the ball down into the corner. And there you see the switch right there between Sears. And then watch with the shot clock running down. Swenson plays behind. When you play behind the big 7-footer and he catches it that deep, it's going to be too tough to stop.
Creighton, Matt West, not able to hit a shot from the corner on an inbounds play. Matt West has been battling the flu as well. Illinois State at 50%, and the reason is most of the shots that they've shot have been layups or within 10 feet.
Buford's got the assignment on Victor Williams, and look at Williams take him hard to the middle.
Jepson, the hero of last night's win. 9 to shoot. Bryson pull up over Walker short. And he limps to the other end defensively.
When you have leg problems, it's going to be hard to overcompensate the jumper because your legs are so much involved in the shot.
They said that he was hurting so bad in the last regular season game that he had tears in his eyes. Walker came to the bench and said, "Coach, this guy's got to come out." He refused to come out of the game.
He was grimacing in pain, and Kevin Stallings says, "I'll take you out," and he said, "No."
A 2 by West, then a steal by Buford, can't hit a 3. But you're right, it's important for Creighton to score so they can get in their pressure. They become an 80-foot defensive team.
That's how they can get a chance to try to wear down Illinois State. You make baskets, you put the pressure on them with your defensive pressure.
Doug Swenson fouling, that's his first. Second foul on Creighton, it's a shooting foul for Ryan Crowley.
You know, when you spread teams out and they get aggressive in their defense, what we're seeing is Illinois State go back door, and they've been doing a very good job of being productive doing that, drawing the help at either scoring or getting to the line.
Crowley, 75% at the line from suburban Chicago and Naperville, which has produced some outstanding players for the Valley, including Anthony Parker, now in the NBA, played a couple years ago for arch rival Bradley. As Tyrese Bryson limps to the bench. His free throw could tie the game at 18. 6:41 left in the half, 18-18 tie. That's Kenneth Pearson. And Illinois State, in essence, has shortened the game, too. I think that's to the advantage of the Redbirds. Don't you think, Debbie?
Absolutely. We talked about that being the key of the game, to shorten the possession, take time off the clock, execute their offense, be efficient. Kevin Stallings feels like he's on borrowed time with some of these guys on the floor. But, you know, he is a guy that's not going to make excuses.
No, he's not.
There's no question about it. He knows he's being challenged in many different ways this season with the injury problem.
And he said, "I don't want to coach this way, but kind of like necessity's the mother of invention," and the invention of backdoor cuts, and another layup by Crowley and Illinois State. And they lead 20-18. And Creighton getting hammered on backdoor cuts.
And, you know, Crowley is not faster than Rodney Buford, but what Crowley did is read the defense. He took Rodney Buford Buford up the wing and then took him back door.
And Corey Brandon answers with a 3 to give Creighton the lead again. Creighton living by the 3. Brandon has 2. Carla Conovis has 1. Sears has 1. Creighton with more 3s than 2s right now.
Ryan Crowley taking it all the way around the horn and scoring.
And Illinois State will go to the triangle. 22-21 Illinois State.
Corey Brandon and Rodney Buford are being face guarded in the triangle defense. Triangle and 2 is what that is.
A launch and a hit for 3 by Nereus. Carla Conovis, Creighton's first ever foreign player, hits a 3 and Creighton leads by 2.
And Dana Altman is over there yelling at his guys to guard somebody, play some defense. Stop Illinois State. They've not taken anything away from them. They're scoring back door. They're scoring out of the high-low. Their penetration to the middle of the lane has been really hurting the Creighton defense.
12 to shoot for the Redbirds. Williams hounded by Brandon. 7 to shoot. Williams will attack. Victor Williams, the freshman of the year, with a pull-up jumper. He's got 4 and the game's tied again.
Kevin Stallings couldn't be asking any more right now out of his club the way they've executed the game plan.
Jepson with the steal against Brandon, against Carla Conovis. And a foul is going to be called on Nereus. Carla Conovis of Creighton trying to hustle back on defense. But Sean Jepson, he wasn't even getting 5 minutes a game earlier in the year. Now he's become an integral part of the Illinois State package.
He's playing with a lot of confidence right now. And when a guy like Jepson can come on the floor and create some offense with his defense. He's one of the healthy guys. He takes it hard, strong to the basket, just a freshman. Not a real physical player on the perimeter. I think Creighton right now needs to step up their presence physically at the defensive end. They've got to be a little bit more aggressive and bump Illinois State off their pattern. They've not taken anything away from them offensively.
Jepson, for the year, is now 14 of 17 at the foul line. He iced the game last night against Drake with 2 free throws with 2.5 seconds left in the game. 26-24 Illinois State. Jepson with a rebound.
He didn't just rebound that thing. He grabbed it with authority.
The most minutes he had played prior to the start of February was about 11 minutes in a game. 18 against Drake. Other than that, now he's become a 20-minute player, or even more than that for Illinois State. Watkins, good post defense.
And here comes Victor Williams walking the ball up the floor. The tempo totally in Illinois State's command right now.
Rodney Buford, ladies and gentlemen, has not scored in this game. Illinois State has shut him down. As a result, the Redbirds lead by 2. Crowley for 3. The Birds haven't hit a 3 in the entire half. Near steal, Williams kicks it to us. Creighton will keep it. With 3:27 left in the first half, Rodney Buford has a bagel so far in the scoring column. Illinois State up 2. Illinois State leading 26-24. One of the reasons is Sean Riley is doing everything for Illinois State.
The 7-footer showing us the entire offensive package. He feels the double team and the dump down to Pearson. That's 1 assist. Watch this backdoor pass. He fires it inside. And then when he sees the dribble penetration, he slides into the vision. And he has got 8 points and 2 boards, and I got him for at least a couple assists so far in this first half.
Sean Riley, 10 rebounds last night against Drake, and doing kind of triple-ish, double-ish kind of things in this game. 26-24, Illinois State leads by 2. Rodney Buford trying to post up against Crowley. Getting some attention. Shot clock winding down for the Blue Jays.
And you can see how important Dana Altman feels like it is to get Rodney Buford some shots as he's trying to get him the basketball in the offense.
Brandon rejected. Buford launches with 1 second in the shot clock and air ball. Shot clock violation goes to Illinois State. Tyrese Bryson playing injured and playing hard. Creighton 9 of 24 now from the field, while Illinois State 11 of 22. And Creighton is living by the 3. Watkins. Donnie Johnson call this a walk or a foul. That's going to be a foul on Creighton. Johnny Johnson fouling his first.
We talk about the power game. We're seeing an example of it right here. There's the slip off the screen. And although he does handle it well at first, a power dribble, the contact off the glass.
Leroy Watkins, an interesting story. He's a graduate student now at Illinois State. Was given an additional year of eligibility at ISU. After being a partial qualifier when he started, he was recruited by Kevin Stallings out of Chicago. And he's really turned into an outstanding kid and doing graduate work now on the Normal, Illinois campus. This is both free throws. 2:33 left in the half. Other winners today, the 1 seed Evansville won. There's one from way outside. Brandon airballs it.
You can see Ryan Sears right there taking over. Dana Altman wondering what's going on at the offensive end with his guys right now. Trying to be encouraging. Best thing he can do right now is try to keep encouraging his guys.
You know what? If he was watching this tape in his coaching office, he would probably think he's fortunate to be down only by 2 at this point.
No, I agree with you. I think you're right. Illinois State is giving a good go right here at it. You got to believe that your depth in your system is going to pay off.
Williams over the top of Johnson. Count it. Victor Williams has 6.
Can't forget these two teams split during the course of the season. Matter of fact, 4 of the 7 conference wins that Illinois State had were against the top 3 seeds in the league.
Yeah, figure it out. They swept Evansville, the champion of the league. Harlikonovich, not there. Plus, Creighton's only getting 1 shot, and they're the best offensive rebounding team in the Missouri Valley Conference.
And the second highest scoring team offensively. I think right now they're settling. They're not making Illinois State work on the defensive end. They've got to reverse the basketball.
Watkins traveled with it.
I'll tell you right now, we talked about who was going to guard Rodney Buford. Look at Crowley holding on to him, not letting him get to the offensive glass.
And if you just joined us, let's take a look at this.
This is what I'm talking about right here. Crowley holding on, Buford pointing, and there's no way that Rodney Buford is going to get to the offensive glass with Ryan Crowley wrapping him up like that.
Rodney Buford yet to score in the game. Now, this is a kid that had 40 in a game earlier this year against Bradley. Buford attacks on Crowley. Still not there. Donnie Johnson can't get it against Riley. And a foul's going to be called against Sean Riley of Illinois State.
Well, Kevin Stallings looking at his watch. He's saying, hey, that's a little bit late. You're a little late on that call.
And Tim Hutchison is over in the face of Kevin Stallings saying, hey, don't need you looking at the watch. Kevin's going, just checking it.
He's not even wearing a watch over there. Donnie Johnson again on the weak side glass. Doing a great job of getting to the boards. I'd like to see Rodney Buford instead of shooting the one-handed floater with Victor Williams guarding him. So take it up solid and square to the basket and shoot the jumper.
Doug Swenson has yet to score in the game. How about this? Buford averages 20, no points. Swenson averages 13 per game, no points.
See, and I think if I'm Dana Altman, exactly like you said, I'm happy I'm still in it. There's a minute to go. My 2 leading scorers haven't got started yet. But you got to play the law of averages when it comes to basketball, and you got to believe that you can make some adjustments at the half and get your guys on the mark.
Timeout on the floor. A minute even left in the first half of play. Illinois State, Kevin Stallings, the defending back-to-back champions in this tournament, leading 28-25. Rodney Buford is 0 for 5 from the field. Now, one of the stories is the fact that he hadn't hit a shot, Debbie. Another part of the story is he's only put up 5 shots in this half.
Well, again, it's Rodney's maturity level at the offensive end. He knows he's keyed on. He knows guys are going to double and triple him. He's going to get attention. So he takes what the defense gives him. As great a scorer as he is, that is a tough thing to handle mentally. Every night, stepping on the floor, drawing that kind of attention. This is a defensive league, and we have terrific defensive coaches in the Valley, and they know how to stop guys.
Creighton trying to trap a little bit. Jepson wide open. The first 3 of the half for Illinois State belongs to Sean Jepson, who's 30% from the half moon this year.
And every time Illinois State knocks down a bucket, Kevin Stallings changes the defense. They're back in the triangle in 2.
Rice and then on Buford. Walker pull up off the glass and hit it. That's his first points of the game. He had 14 in Omaha against this team.
I mean, the difference in this basketball game right now is that Creighton hasn't taken anything away from Illinois State offensively, and Kevin Stallings in Illinois State has taken away Doug Swenson and Rodney Buford scoring from Creighton.
3 of the top 4 scorers have combined for 2 points for Creighton. On the average, I mean, as the scores. Watkins give and go over the top of Johnson. Got the roll.
That's just a great slip right there off the on-ball screen.
And halftime is here, and Illinois State is working on an upset. The defending champions of the Missouri Valley Conference tournament in back-to-back seasons. Trying to knock out the 2 seed. Leroy Watkins and his Illinois State teammates lead 33-27 as Dana Altman will go to the halftime locker room and try to fix
the court for Illinois State with 8 points, and he's also held Buford scoreless here in the first half. And after 8 lead changes early on in the ball game, Illinois State takes control with a 9-1 run late in the half, and they lead it at halftime 33-27. Back with all our halftime activities in just a moment. We're at the break with Illinois State, the 2-time defending champion, leading Creighton 33-27. Pull off the first big upset of the Diet Pepsi Missouri Valley Conference Tournament. They lead the number 2 seed Creighton 33-27 at the break. Hi again, everybody. John Walters back at Kiel Center with our halftime studio. And you know, this game very similar to what we had in the first game of the afternoon session, because Evansville, the number 1 seed, hadn't played yet. They came out a little bit tight, and Wichita State was looser from having played the night before and was able to be within 1 at halftime before Evansville pulled away in the second half. Same scenario here. Illinois State played last night against Drake and won that ball game. They come out a little bit more loose in the early part of the ball game. Creighton struggling, and Illinois State leads it by 6 at the break. We'll see if in the second half those fresh legs of the Creighton Blue Jays can be the difference. But right now, they trail it by 6. We'll be back at Kiel Center in just a moment. And leading the number 2 seed, Creighton, 33-27. It has really been a tale of 2 different strategies in the first half, and it's reflected on the TWA statistics. Let's take a look. Illinois State has been trying to get the ball inside. Mitch and Debbie mentioned they've been getting a lot of layups. Look at the percentage they shoot as a result. And also, they're able to get to the free throw line more often. Creighton, depending on the three-point shot, they've attempted 14 threes. Illinois State, just 2 threes in the first half. And look at the bottom line, because this is the bottom line. Rodney Buford, one of the great scorers in the history of the Missouri Valley Conference, held scoreless in the first half. Terrific defensive work by Ryan Crowley. We're at the break with Creighton leading it, or trailing it rather, 33-27, Illinois State the lead. Mitch and Debbie will be back with first half highlights right after these messages.
Illinois State has used a lot of junk, and that junk is working as they lead the 2 seed Creighton at halftime here in our 3rd quarterfinal game. Hi, everybody. Mitch Holtis with you at Kiel Center along with Debbie Antonelli. They've done a great job. Buford, no points. Creighton can't even get their shooters' shots in the first half.
Well, part of the reason why Creighton is settling for the outside jumper beyond the arc. Almost half their field goal attempts are taken from beyond the arc. They have not established anything on the baseline yet. Swenson 0 for 1. 1 field goal attempt. Creighton has got to penetrate the lane, get the ball inside, and create something on the blocks.
Kevin Stallings, a great coaching job. Let's go to the highlights.
And take a look at what a struggle it has been for Creighton. And Doug Swenson inside. Ryan Sears knocks down a triple. 1 of 5 from beyond the arc. But the offensive glass is the only thing that Creighton has had down between the blocks. But for Illinois State, Sean Riley is doing it all. Scoring down on the block pretty easily when you play behind him. But Victor Williams has been the trigger man all first half. His penetration to the heart of the D is killing Creighton. And Jepson playing with confidence. And of course, Leroy Watkins, so tough to handle on the sweet spot.
Well, there's about a bazillion coaching wins sitting there side by side. Rich Herron on the right, the former coach at Southern Illinois, won this tournament 3 consecutive years from 93 through 95. And on the left, the head coach of the Illinois Fighting Illini, Lon Kruger, took Kansas State to 4 consecutive NCAA appearances, took Florida to the Final Four, Illinois to the Big Ten championship last year. And Lon Kruger's a good friend of the Creighton head coach, Dana Altman. Dana was his assistant at Kansas State when they had Mitch Richmond there. Lon was also here watching another good friend of his, Jim Molinari, who's the head coach at Bradley. He won earlier today in a tough game over Southern Illinois, and a 3 by Ben Wagner gets Creighton started in the half.
And Doug Swenson working a little bit harder in that possession off the basketball to try to get position.
33-30, Redbirds have a 3-point lead. Just underway here, Arch Madness at Kiel Center. If you've just joined us, it has been an outstanding day of basketball. And there's going to be a moving screen called on Illinois State.
Leroy Watkins is trying to hold off Donnie Johnson and Rodney Buford at the same time. Now, Leroy's a wide body, but check this out right here. Top of the key. He's trying to hold these two guys back. Look at the arm. He doesn't use his body. He tries to shield Buford with the arm, and therefore the foul.
Sears wide right on a 3-point attempt. An air ball. It's out of bounds to Illinois State. Ryan Sears, 37% beyond the arch.
And Dane Altman making a change defensively off the dead ball, trying to pick up some full court pressure.
And tried to speed the game up. Kevin Stallings, what a great game plan he's had with his team. Again, 4 healthy players on this Illinois State team.
Illinois State controlled the tempo and was in command the entire first half. Creighton took nothing away from them defensively.
And they didn't take that away from Ryan Crowley, who knocks it down.
10 points for Ryan Crowley.
Creighton, as we mentioned, in the last part of the season, involved in shootout-type games. In fact, they beat Illinois State in Omaha in a 95-84 game. And Creighton right now not scoring enough. And defensively, Illinois State getting some decent looks. A 3 miss from Walker. There's going to be a foul on the rebound. It's going to be on Sean Riley of Illinois State. And that'll catch the eye of Redbird fans. And on Riley, his second foul.
A great ball movement to get the shot that Creighton wants in their offense. But watch Riley on the opposite side. Just shoves Donnie Johnson out of the way. It's kind of a tough call inside with a lot of banging going on in this game.
Walker missed a layup. Illinois State has it back, leading by 5 at 35-30. Illinois State's biggest lead of the game was 6 on 3 different occasions, including halftime. Watkins finds Riley. And Walker rebounds for Creighton. The top rebounding guard in the Missouri Valley Conference, Ben Walker, and a layup shoveled up and in by Donnie Johnson.
Creighton's in a position right now offensively. They got to build it from the basket out, and they pick up into full court pressure. And Donnie Johnson picks up the foul, trying to tie up Victor Williams.
Second foul on Johnson, first team foul on Creighton in the second half.
Well, Ryan Sears knows he's got to push the basketball up the floor. On the primary option inside, Donnie Johnson working hard without the basketball for position to flash it inside.
35-32, Illinois State. They've won this tournament 4 times. We mentioned back-to-back in 97-98. They also won it 87 and 90. Riley being physical. Swenson has it poked out of bounds to Creighton. Doug Swenson trying to become a force in this game, as he's only shot 1 time in the entire game.
Well, he's got to step up right here. What a tough pass to thread in there. Donnie Johnson in pretty good defensive position, but Swenson rotates from the weak side to get the block.
Second block shots in the league to Danny Moore at Southwest Missouri State. They're going to call this goaltending. A goaltending call against Leroy Watkins. And Kevin Stallings did not like the call. Leroy Watkins has been a great shot blocker. He's the all-time Illinois State shot blocker.
Look at the footwork by Donnie Johnson. Boy, that was right at the rim. Take another look. I think it's a good call.
Give the basket to Donnie Johnson. He has 8 points. And he and Nereus Karlikonovas lead Creighton in scoring.
Look at Victor Williams split the double team and just break the pressure off the dribble by himself.
Boy, has he grown up a lot. Foul called on Creighton here. Seconds on Ryan Sears. The sophomore guard, his first foul. Second team foul on Creighton, second half. Third team foul, I'm sorry, on Creighton in the second 20 minutes of play. 35-34, Illinois State with a lead of 1. Williams slashing to the basket. Great dish and a quick thunder dunk by Leroy Watkins, who throws it down hard.
Victor Williams is having field day off the dribble against Creighton.
Sears can tie it. Illinois State. Will they force and push? Williams. And he travels. How about the dunk by Leroy Watkins off the feed from Victor Williams?
Watch how Victor Williams gets to the heart of the defense, draws the rotation in Swenson, and then dumps it off. Karlikonovich is supposed to be dropping down on that to help out inside.
Watkins has 6, 37-34. Karlikonovich turns down the shot. Buford yet to score. Jump stop. Rodney's in the scorebook. First points of the game for the third leading scorer in the Missouri Valley Conference, Rodney Buford. Takes him 24 minutes to score in the game.
There's no way that Dana Altman could have predicted that was going to happen. Neither could Kevin Stallings. I'm sure he didn't expect to hold him scoreless. What happened to Brian Crowley?
Crowley has 12 points, his career high 15 earlier this year against Evansville. Evansville, the 1 seed, won earlier today against Wichita State. And Bradley beats Southern Illinois in the second game of the day. Karlikonovich for 3. Walker's over the back of Tyrese Bryson. Second foul on Ben Walker. And we have a timeout. 15:08 left in the game. Illinois State 39 and Rodney Buford of Creighton finally on the board. His team has 36. Illinois State has been the force, leading 39-36. Now you tell me what has the greater force. Take a look. Leroy Watkins on the dunk. Or this. The implosion of the old St. Louis Arena, the old Checker Dome. That was imploded earlier today, about an hour and a half ago, just up the street here in St. Louis. I think I'm going with Leroy's dunk.
Well, both of them rattled the earth.
This tournament was held for a brief time in the St. Louis Arena and the old Kiel Center. But I think you're right. I think Leroy drove that one to China. There's a steal now by Creighton. Buford, that's an easy layup for Sears, and he missed the layup. It's out of bounds to Creighton. Ryan Sears won't have an easier layup this summer in a pickup game.
Look at the look on Ryan Sears, and Dana Altman said, it's okay. He just kept encouraging him. Don't worry about it.
Buford missing inside. Sears just 1 for 5 from the field. 39-36 Illinois State dodges a bullet to keep a 3-point lead at 14:30 left in the game. Crowley, they flash out on him. Now they double team him. Nice look to Riley. This is out to Creighton. Nice touch by Leroy Watkins. And Kevin Stallings will protest the call. As near as Karlikonovich battling inside against Leroy Watkins. Now they're going to change it. Tim Hutchison's going to come in and change the call. Let's take a look at the reaction and the difference. Now Dana Altman didn't like it.
Sean Riley gets a good look inside, misses with the left. And then you see Leroy Watkins kind of pop it out of Karlikonovich's hands, but good teamwork by the officials.
Tim Hutchison coming in and changing the call. 39-36, Illinois State by 3. Near turnover saved by the athletic Corey Brandon. Buford trying to post up again on Victor Williams. As Creighton in the box and 1, they're chasing Rodney Buford. Karlikonovich running hook. And nobody getting a second chance opportunity for Creighton.
Well, Victor Williams is doing a terrific job guarding Buford. You got to remember, Buford is listed at 6'5", and Williams 5'10". I don't even think he's that big.
Riley gets the layup, and again the penetration of Victor Williams made it happen. And now it's a 5-point lead for Illinois State, and Creighton wants a 20. 13:27 left in the game. Dana Altman's team, the 2 seed, does not want history to repeat itself. Last year, Creighton was a 2-seed and lost to the Bradley Braves. This year, the 2-seed trailing the 7th-seeded Redbirds of Illinois State 41-36, and Victor Williams is having a heck of a game at point guard for Illinois State.
Well, Dana Altman's got to figure out how to contain him. He is getting inside, being able to draw the D and dish. Dana Altman may want to think about going a little zone out there, trying to contain Victor Williams and keep him in front.
In the best plebe in the Missouri Valley Conference this year, the freshman of the year at a Wyandotte High School in Kansas City, Kansas, Victor Williams at 25 in a game against Indiana State. Really turned it on at the end of the year when Illinois State needed him the most of all the injuries.
Well, he has played well down the stretch. There's no question about it. Coming into the tournament, he had double figures in the last 6 games. He's really started to turn it up at both ends of the floor.
Are you surprised he's not getting picked more here in this box than one? He's the guy guarding Rodney Buford.
I think Creighton's gotten very stationary in their offense. They started up tempo to start the second half because their defense was starting to turn it up a notch. So now they've just gotten stationary.
Haynes wants a 3. Justin Haynes rattles out. And the rebound is Sean Riley of Illinois State.
The other part of it, though, is Rodney Buford's got to be willing to work without the basketball and move in the offense.
Crowley 5 for 7 from the field for Illinois State. Riley 5 of 10. 12:40 left in the game. Illinois State by 5.
So Ryan Sears is just going to try to play Williams straight up. Try not to help.
Williams pull-up jumper. And there's a foul, and it's going to be on Illinois State. Watkins and Riley both going to the board. Watkins called for the foul, just his first foul in the game. Second foul, I'm sorry. Second foul on Watkins.
I think if you asked Kevin Stallings if he thought his team would be able to hang in, he felt pretty confident. He just knew that the injuries were going to be tough to deal with in a tournament that you could potentially play 4 games in.
Yeah, we were kidding about it being the Alamo, not having healthy guys, but right now the Alamo is winning. Underneath, Swenson. Haynes just missed a 3. He'll hammer that one in. Justin Haynes, his 5th three-point make of the entire season in 19 attempts. And he's from a little itty-bitty town in south central Nebraska that hit a big shot. Creighton needed it.
Now Brandon is going to guard Victor Williams.
Riley, good shooter from the outside. Watkins great in there. Fight for it underneath. Sears trying to get it. Swenson rips it loose for Creighton. Rodney Buford just 2 points in the game. Illinois State has shut him down.
And Victor Williams has had the assignment the majority of the time with Ryan Crowley getting on Buford a little bit defensively.
Swenson, Haynes, and he's going to be fouled by Jepson of Illinois State.
Well, Justin Haynes has come off the bench and is getting aggressive at the offensive end, showing some confidence. Somebody's got to take charge offensively.
Team foul number 4 on Illinois State in the second half. Creighton trailing by 2, 41-39.
Kevin Stallings using a variety of defenses, and it's been successful. Illinois State leading Creighton with 11:09 to play. It's been great today. It's only going to get better tomorrow. And the matchup's brought to you by Monsanto. The first semifinal will pit Bradley against the number 1 seed Evansville. Then the winner of this game against either Southwest Missouri State or Indiana State. Mitch and Debbie, I think Victor Williams is going to follow Rodney Buford right out of the arena tonight.
I think he is. He's going to follow him to dinner, to the hotel room. Be like those commercials. Rodney be sleeping tonight and look up on the ceiling, and there'll be Victor Williams looking down on top of him. 41-39, 11 minutes left in the game. Sears could give Creighton the lead. And the rebound to Leroy Watkins. You know, it's interesting, Ryan Sears, really a good point guard, but this year he's kind of struggled with the role. I talked to him yesterday about it. When to shoot, when not to shoot. The role of a point guard. How much of a score should a point guard be?
Well, when you've got a guy like Rodney Buford and Doug Swenson, it gives your offense a lot of balance.
Riley with the bucket.
And it is tough. You know what your job is defensively. To You've got to try to distribute the basketball and keep everybody involved offensively. And Creighton just looks like they are just moving in slow motion, a foot slow on the offensive end.
Easy for Buford with the dunk. Rodney Buford has his second field goal in this game on a tip follow.
Great job by Brandon. He almost comes up with a steal. And you got to see Creighton, the 2 seed, pick to win the Valley, has got to step it up right here.
They kept it alive enough for Rodney to get the dunk.
That's just a great touch pass by Walker to a terrific finisher. Just looks like he kicks it in an extra gear to get up that high.
Great vertical jump. 2-point lead for Illinois State.
And maybe a dunk like that is a way to get Rodney Buford going.
Victor Williams on the press break all the way to the other end, leaves it short. Illinois State will keep the ball. Kyle Cartmill is in the game finally for Illinois State. Cartmill played 2 minutes in the first half, but again, he's playing with a broken foot. This is Victor Williams, one of the few healthy guys Kevin Stallings has.
We saw Cartmill on crutches yesterday after shoot-around. Left the arena last night after the game on crutches.
This is Cartmill with the ball. Had a great NCAA tournament last year. The huge assist to beat Tennessee in the close game. Had a great NBC tournament last year in Arch Madness.
And this is the small guard lineup for Creighton, which is a very active defensive lineup at this point.
Jepson had Watkins open, couldn't get it to him. 5 to shoot. Williams, Riley, 2 to shoot. Not there. Rebound, Donnie Johnson for Creighton. Good job by the Blue Jays defensively. Skip pass, Sears. They want Walker. He turns down a 3. Brandon wants it. And Creighton now all of a sudden cooled down from 3-point range.
You know what, Mitch? They're getting good looks. That was good ball movement. They attacked the basket. They pushed the ball off the floor. I like the lineup right now at this part of the game that Dane Altman has on the floor.
Watkins, great move, and could not get it down. Nice slide move by Leroy Watkins, and you wonder if he's not getting tired just a little bit.
Here's a chance for Creighton to make a run. You've got to stay active. And no one's even guarding Donnie Johnson.
A 3, yes, Creighton has the lead on a 3 by Ben Walker. Creighton in this half, 2 of 11 from 3-point range, but finally knocks one down with 8:33 left in the game. And now Illinois State has to find another gear. How much do they have left of it?
Well, Kevin Stallings doesn't have a lot to go to on the bench. He's played 7 guys sparingly.
And Illinois State throws it away. A pass to the hands of Cartmill. And you're starting to see things where fatigue might be coming a factor. Leroy Watkins, great move, but can't get the shot to fall. And a turnover there on the perimeter.
And that's why Kevin Stallings is going to platoon some substitutions in right now. You can sense Creighton trying to make a run. Dane Altman with a small guard lineup. He just took Sears out for a break. Brings Carla Conovas in.
Dane Altman's team finally on top. Take a look at the turnovers. Illinois State has turned it over 12 times, Creighton 7. Walker, good defense by Illinois State, but a deep 3 hit by Brandon, his first second half 3. All of a sudden, Creighton with back-to-back half-moon shots, leads by 4.
Last 2 possessions, they have gotten the shot they wanted and got it to fall down.
On-ball screen by Pearson for Williams. Riley backs in. Williams needs help. Riley over double team. Missed it. Nice play by Jepson inside, and he gets fouled. I'm sorry, Crowley. Crowley made the play for Illinois State. Ryan Crowley getting it back after Sean Riley couldn't get it to go down. And how about the job that Ryan Crowley and Sean Jepson have done for Illinois State?
There's no question the latter part of the season they've had to step up their game. They've gotten minutes and they've been productive while they're in there.
Crowley to the line, 2 for 2 in the game. 14 fouls on Creighton now second half. Well, what this does for Kevin Stallings, if nothing else, tells those two guys that next year, maybe a little bit of 2 bonus players that he can take into next season. Those guys now know what they can do for the Illinois State program. The Blue Jays of Creighton starting to warm up from 3. They lead by 2. Back along with Debbie Antonelli, Kiel Center, downtown St. Louis. Creighton starting to warm up from 3-point range and finally went around Illinois State 47-45 with 7:28 left to go in the game. But this one just getting good. Now take a look at this, Debbie. The usual suspects to score for Creighton have been shut down.
And Swenson not getting very many touches on the baseline, and Buford has had to be the guy in that box and one being hounded by Victor Williams the entire game.
Buford just 4 points. He was in double figures in all but one game this year. He had 9 at Southwest Missouri State in a game we had on television. Every other game in double figures. He has only 4 right now.
I think Creighton needs to make Illinois State work. They've not made him work in that box and one. And Carlicanos comes up with a big shot on the inside.
Little jump hook, little baby half hook, and now Sean Riley throws it right to Rodney Buford. And I think Illinois State starting to show signs of fatigue. That was a tired, tight pass from Sean Riley.
Riley's not even going to come out and contest anything with Donnie Johnson on the perimeter.
Rodney Buford, the fewest points, has a deep 3 again from the corner, counted for Corey Brandon, and all of a sudden, Creighton is exploding.
What a terrific way to set up the perimeter shot.
And a possession, a steal, and a timeout called by Creighton. And the Blue Jay fans are going crazy here in St. Louis. Illinois State has had Creighton bottled up all evening. All of a sudden, they have opened that bottle, and out flowing is a stream of blue. And Dana Altman's had Corey Brandon getting it done.
Well, Corey Brandon off the bench has been stellar in this basketball game. The inside-out kick, and Brandon relocates on the perimeter and gets into Carlicanovas' vision, knocks it down. And what's important that Creighton continues to do against this box and one, which we've seen them do the last couple possessions, is establish something in the paint, either off the dribble or making the pass to the baseline. They've got to get some activity near the hoop.
Corey Brandon, 14 points. He had 13 against Illinois State in Omaha. Redbirds finally get it in play. And Illinois State needs a basket. Crowley has it blocked by Carlicanovas. And a foul, and Leroy Watkins will go to the line for Illinois State. And Leroy Watkins isn't giving up the fight yet.
Not at all. The way Illinois State's got to feel is they've got nothing to lose. They come in as a 7th seed. No one expected them to be at this point with the injuries that they have to be in this basketball game at all.
Watkins missing the free throw. He's 0 for 3 at the line in the game. Kevin Stallings. Does he have another trick up his sleeve someplace?
I was just thinking the same thing. The master at tinkering with adjustments. These coaches know the personnel and the opposition so well. A few minor adjustments can sometimes work to your advantage.
Watkins with the free throw down. Bench scoring 28-7 in favor of the Creighton Blue Jays. 52-46 Blue Jays. A little over 6 minutes left in the game. Swenson. And he is fouled by Sean Riley.
That's the penetration into the defense that I'm talking about. As long as Illinois State has been able to stay in that box of one, Creighton has got to have been able to figure it out by now. Watch how Walker draws the D with a terrific dish. Riley rotates over late, getting there. Swenson strong inside. He's going to get a chance to get to the line.
Doug Swenson has yet to score in the game. He averages 13. He had 20 against Southwest Missouri State earlier this year. 21 against Illinois State and Omaha. Tonight, Zippo has a chance here with 2 shots. How about Doug Swenson getting his first point? Buford with 4, and Dana Altman has a 7-point lead. Tells you about his depth, though, a little bit.
Those guys combined for 33 points a game. It's almost more than half, or more than a third of Creighton's offense.
Swenson hits them both. Biggest lead of the game for the Blue Jays at 8. All of a sudden, they're pressure, and Energy. Crowley, press break. Easy two.
But with the lead, Dana Altman keeps the pressure on because he knows it's impacting what his team does at the offensive end.
New career high for Ryan Crowley of Illinois State. 16 points, eclipsing 15 against Evansville earlier this year. And a foul on the Redbirds.
Now you're starting to see a little life in the Creighton offense. They look so slow. No movement, no energy. Now they're starting to get the ball inside, and they're starting to pick it up a little bit. They're picking, they're moving without the basketball.
And almost on your cue, they're penetrating. They're getting good dribble penetration.
That's the way to attack the zone. That's what you got to look at it when they play the box. It's a zone that you've got to attack the elbow, get it to the short corner, and penetration is the best way on ball reversal to beat the zone.
Sean Riley now has 4 fouls, and keep in mind, Illinois State really only has 2.5 post plays. The free throw down from Swenson, his 3rd in a row, because Kenneth Pearson plays, but he really probably shouldn't be playing because he's so banged up with a knee injury. Watkins is the other post player, and now Riley has 4 fouls. Swenson, 4 in a row at the line. Illinois State trails by 8.
After the last transition bucket by Crowley, Dane Altman takes the full court pressure off.
Creighton has not won in St. Louis since they won the whole tournament in 1991. Riley turn around over Swenson. And the ever-present Walker, again the top rebounding guard in the conference with the rebound. Now how careful is Creighton with this possession, or they continue to attack?
They attack. They do not hesitate.
There you go. Karl Economist does not hesitate. He has a dozen. What is he like playing on TV? And you wonder, he was held out by the NCAA. His timeout now called by Illinois State. Illinois State, the coach calls a full timeout. Kevin Stallings with 5:03 left in the game, trying to reach down. The defending champion, trying to hang on here. But the Lithuanian, Nereus Karlikonovis, puts Creighton up by double digits. Creighton on a big-time run, leading Illinois State 58-48. Look at this, Debbie. 11-3 Blue Jays in the last 2.5 minutes. Why?
Penetration to the heart of the defense. 3-pointers by Corey Brandon and Doug Swenson getting to the free throw line, all because Creighton has gotten more aggressive at the offensive end.
And the second half, much different. Take a look at this. A 16-point advantage for Creighton. They trailed by 6 at halftime. Illinois State trying to reach down and find another gear. And have they shown some unbelievable courage in this tournament. Leroy Watkins kicks it out to Williams instead for 3. Yep, Victor Williams won't go away. That's his first second half points. And Illinois State calls timeout with 4:41 left in the game, and Creighton leading 58-51.
Kevin Stallings is thinking possession basketball right now. Got it to 7. Victor Williams knocks down the big 3 because of the great kick out by Watkins. Leroy Watkins knows he's the center of attention, understands and reads the double team, and finds the open receiver on the perimeter. But Kevin Stallings calls that timeout right now because he wants to make sure it is crystal clear to his club what defense he wants, and he gives them a chance to set up their pressure and then what he wants done at the offensive end.
Illinois State will be defending all over the floor here, 94-foot defense, and pressuring the inbounds play. They get it into Rodney Buford. Rodney Buford just 4 points for Creighton. His low output of the year, 9. His lowest point total since his very first game as a freshman when he had just 3. 58-51 Creighton. Little weave look here by the Blue Jays.
And now Illinois State in a straight-up man-to-man.
Walker trying to get it to Swenson. He's covered up. Great catch by Swenson. And he's fouled. What a catch by Swenson. He had 2 guys in the passing lane, somehow came out with it.
Well, it's terrific hands, but how about the footwork after he catches it? This is a big-time move right here by Doug Swenson. Watch the pass to the target hand away from the D, and he just snatches it with those big hands. Shows the ball steps through. And he has gotten himself offensively involved by getting touches, working without the basketball, and he's been productive at getting to the free throw line.
Leroy Watkins has 3 fouls. Sean Riley has 4. So Illinois State's big man in trouble. Doug Swenson, only 4 points are at the line. He's a 73% shooter, but he's hit 4 of these free ones in a row. And he's kind of kept his head in the game where he could have kind of sat down and pouted because 5 minutes and not even getting any touches in this game.
Yeah, I agree with you, Mitch. I think you're absolutely right. Doug Swenson has stayed in the game mentally, kept his focus. That just shows you how important wanting to win can overcome any adjustments that are being made or how much attention you may be drawing on the floor. Playing within the system.
Hit 21 again in Omaha against Illinois State. Just 7 in the loss to Illinois State in Norman. 6 in a row by Swenson. They've all been huge. 60-51. It's a 9-point lead for Creighton. Still over 4 minutes left to go in the game. This one not done yet. They might look to get Jepson a 3 here. Outstanding freshman shooter. Jepson, nice dish. Crowley in trouble. He's going to be... Nope, it's going to be a held ball. Held ball that will go to... If they're going to rule this, yep, it's a defensive forced held ball, and Creighton's going to get it, and Kevin Stallings not happy about that call. Let's take a look at it again.
Right now, Dana Altman is substituting offense into the game, but watch here. Who's got possession of the ball? I guess that must have been Donnie Johnson that tied it up defensively.
Prior to the block right after that.
Carly Conovis comes in for more offense.
Buford. Crowley on him. Illinois State still junking it up defensively. Another straight man. Jepson guarding Buford. A mismatch in the favor of Buford. Swenson with the follow. Doug Swenson all of a sudden in the last 3 minutes of the game has stepped up big for Creighton. It's an 11-point Creighton lead.
And Corey Brandon has done a better job of trying to contain some penetration by Williams, but how about that? Terrific off the dribble, Victor Williams.
Almost keeping the Redbirds in this game by himself on offense in the second half. Crowley had the points early, but watch the freshman of the year in the Missouri Valley scooting around.
Well, he has gotten a lot more confident at the offensive end. Watch the crossover. Corey Brandon there to contest, but Victor Williams gets it off quick. Great decision by the young freshman point guard.
Kevin Stallings down 9, and we'll work on checking the timeout situation for both teams. As Illinois State still able to stop the clock after made baskets to set up their pressure.
What Illinois State wants to do here is not get beat long. Play good, solid defense. Try to get a stop.
Both teams out of 20s. And Illinois State with a full timeout left. Creighton with 2 fulls left. Buford still with 18 on the shot clock. Shot it early. Swenson missed the tip. Pearson and a foul on Swenson on the rebound.
See, again, Rodney Buford needs to take it up strong and shoot it. He's got great elevation on his jump shot, but he keeps falling back to that one-handed floater.
And Debbie, there was 18 on the clock, and I know you were saying still attack, but 18 on the clock at 2:46 in the game was a little too early.
Well, Rodney Buford can get that shot off the dribble because he has the ability to create with his size and with his explosiveness. But you see Dana Altman's going to take him down to the bench and have a seat.
Rodney Buford, just 4 points. Corey Bradford on defense now against Victor Williams. Jepson can launch. They're trying to get somebody set up for a 3.
They don't necessarily need to set up for threes at this point. They just need to stay aggressive and score, like Williams.
Victor Williams with 13.
Now they need another stop. You've got plenty of time. There's not time to panic and just fall or settle for 3-pointers.
And this is the best free-throwing team in Creighton in 6 years. So not exactly a bargain. Timeout called by Dana Altman to avoid a turnover. He has to have a full. He's got 1 full left. He's out of 20s. That's what he's asking Paul Castor about at the scoring table. Dana Altman will try to reset his club with 23 to shoot. His team leads by 7. Mitch Schultz is back, along with Debbie Antonelli in St. Louis. The Kiel Center full of emotion. Creighton has turned the game around. They were down 6 at half. They lead by 7 now. But Illinois State, the cheerleaders, their fans on their feet. This is an Illinois State team that has had quite a run, Debbie Antonelli. Back-to-back regular season titles in 97, 98, back-to-back tournament titles. And they're not done yet in this game. And their fans haven't quit either. Great contingent of Redbird fans on their feet exhorting their team.
You don't have to worry about injuries or anything like that in this juncture of the game. Nobody's tired, nobody's hurt when you get to crunch time.
Walker up top, working against the 5 count. Jepson nearly stole it. Sean Jepson, man, is he matured.
Boy, he certainly has. He and Victor Williams, you can just see those 2 freshmen get better and better just in the tournament.
Plus, he's from Spring Valley, Illinois, which makes Hooterville look like St. Louis. 2 seconds to shoot. The leaner by Swanson. Walker with an offensive follow. Ben Walker has 10. What a great rebounding guard he is.
Walker and Brandon together have had a terrific game on the perimeter.
64-55. Riley. Short. Oh, wonder if he has any legs left. It's a tie-up forced by Illinois State. Kevin Stalling says his team should have the ball on a 3-point miss from Riley.
And Ben Walker saying, hey, I thought I was fouled. He got tied up pretty physically inside. Didn't like it at all. Watch this right here. There's Crowley. And look at Leroy Watkins from behind. He's got a hold of him. That's what Walker's saying. Get him off my back.
Ben Walker was recruited by 7 of the 11 Big Ten football playing by the football schools of the Big Ten. And that time had kind of some football emotion. Jepson knocks down the shot on the baseline. He has 7.
And Jepson picks up the foul on Sears. Stops the clock and puts Ryan Sears to the free throw line.
It's 1-1 for Ryan Sears. He has had a frustrating game. Ryan Sears has his Jepson with the immediate foul. 64-57 Creighton, 124 left in the game. And Walker comes back in after cooling off momentarily. And Ryan Sears, who missed all those threes, has 1 3-point make in the game, and that was early in the first half. That was the first Creighton bucket of the game. But an 82% shooter at the line for the year.
It's still a 3-possession basketball game if Illinois State can knock down some threes. Now they're going to be looking for the tray, and that's why Dana Altman counters with the 3-guard look to try to deny Illinois State shots beyond the arc.
66-57, a 3-possession, 3-point game. Illinois State, a pick high for Williams. Creighton 8 of 8 at the foul line in the second half. And their margin is 9. Williams, Jepson. Yes, he hit the big threes against Creighton. He had 2 threes against him last night. He nails it.
Has Jepson been big or what in this tournament? He made some big shots last night. He has been terrific off the bench. But Victor Williams has been the key. He has been the guy that has made penetration, create offense. Watch how he kicks it back out after he draws the help. Ryan Sears late in recovery. And Victor Williams' penetration and his ability to score in the middle of the Creighton defense has really kept Creighton off balance and contesting from the perimeter.
Our replay is a service of State Farm Insurance, which National Galactic headquarters in Illinois State Country in Bloomington, Illinois, the Twin Cities of Normal Bloomington. How about Sean Jepson? This is the 31st game of the year for Illinois State. He's only had 3 games all year in double figures. 2 of the 3 in this tournament, Debbie. 10 last night against Drake, 10 tonight against Creighton.
Well, he hit the big 3 last night at the 2:13 mark. When Illinois State was tied up at 44 all, Jepson knocks down the 3. It was a call play by what Kevin Stallings credited to as Tom Richardson, his assistant, who drew it up.
Illinois State working on its press. On the floor as Creighton runs out there. As you take a look at the Illinois State team, Sean Jepson. I mean, he's from a little itty-bitty Illinois town of Spring Valley. So was an outstanding high school scorer.
Illinois State doesn't want to get beat long here. They'd like to enter the ball into their best free throw shooter. And Ryan Sears is a good one to have the ball in this situation.
Buford's at 81%. He's 6th in the Valley in free throw shooting. They don't want to foul him either, but the clock moving down.
You can see Kevin Stallings elected not to foul. Wants to play this possession, trying to get a stop.
And now they foul at 17 on the shot clock and 49.5 seconds on the game clock.
That's such a tough decision for coaches to make. Do you or don't you foul? And you watch the shot clock and you try to get some traps, try to go for the steal and overplay. But then as the clock ticks down and you're trailing by 6, it gives you less and less opportunity to get possession of the basketball.
Now take a look at this. Why is Creighton winning? There's a big reason. Make it 9 of 9. This happened to foul on. And talking about Illinois State chasing it, give credit to Dana Altman credit. The ball never left the hands of Buford 81% or Sears 82%.
Well, at this time of the season, you know who your personnel is and you know what they can do. And obviously, Sears and Buford are the guys to handle.
68-60 Creighton, 44 seconds left in the game. Victor Williams had it blocked. Sears dives to the floor to Carla Conovich. And Creighton has just taken a vaccine for the St. Louis flu. They have not won here in St. Louis since 1991, and they're on the verge of unseating the reigning champion of this league. Tie-up, forced by Illinois State. Still 27 seconds left. Illinois State will get the defensive force tie-up.
What a gutsy play by Ryan Crowley. Woo. Now Illinois State's got to attack and get the 3.
Creighton puts a shovel of dirt on Illinois State. They just continue to sweep it away. Williams off the mark on a 3. Nearly blocked by Carla Conovich. And a quick foul in the backcourt.
I'll tell you what, Ben Walker has been terrific on the glass all night long. Comes up with a big defensive rebound.
Frustration oozing out of those fans from Omaha. They've come down here and seen Creighton get bumped in the first round. Every year since Dana Altman has been the head coach of Creighton, that they qualified to come to the tournament before all 10 teams were allowed to come. All of a sudden now, the Blue Jays on the verge of winning this basketball game.
And Rodney Buford may not have had the best individual game today, but he is very happy about the success of his team. And Dana Altman's got to feel a lot more comfortable after getting this one over with.
And yet, as Rodney Buford with just 4 points, but happy that his team's going to win this game. 2 free throws missed by Walker. Williams for 3. Yes! 9.6 seconds left. Illinois State can't stop the clock. 68-63. Huss in the game. To Colder, who traveled with it. Illinois State cleared the bench. They've got Colder, Huss, other guys in the game now for the Blue Jays. 4.9 seconds left. Creighton leads 68-63. Into Williams. Clock ticking down, and the reigning champion of the Missouri Valley Conference is gone. The 7th seeded Illinois State Redbirds, but the back-to-back champions in Arch Madness in the Missouri Valley Conference tournament has been eliminated. 2 good friends, Kevin Stallings and Dana Altman, the head coaches for the respective teams, shake hands. But Illinois State, what a job they did. Most of their team injured. One of their key players, L.D. Murdoch, out for the season, somehow kept this game close and held it tight, leading by 6 at halftime. Victor Williams, the freshman of the year, with 16 points, but it was not enough as Illinois State, the defending champion, has been eliminated. The Creighton Blue Jays, their first win in St. Louis since 1991. We'll be back with more after this. Creighton run. Our champion player of the game for Illinois State, Victor Williams, the freshman of the year in the Missouri Valley Conference, 16 points, 7 assists, 7 field goals out of 15 attempts from the field. Now let's take a look as our final score in this game. The Creighton Blue Jays pull it out as they trailed by 6 points at halftime, 33-27. They pull it out and win by 5, 68-63. Let's take a look at our Rawlings play of the game. Creighton used the 3 ball.